wondering what you got for me. Egyptian cotton is out to be my lady only. I'm wondering what you got for me. Egyptian cotton is out to be my lady only.
What's up, Infobon? It's Freddy. A big heartfelt Dziękuję bardzo to our tens of viewers that have kept us in the top 10 YouTube sports card investing shows. Hosted by a Polish-American girl dad. Today we're taking a detour from Valueville and packing our bags for yet another stop in Bunkburg. Shall we see what sports card shenanigans?
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Hey, Farva, what's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the walls and the mozzarella sticks? You mean Shenanigans?
Oh. Lurks at the next exit? Yes, we shall. If you've read the blog or visited the channel, you know I am grading company agnostic. I don't believe which 12 cents of plastic encase your 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card matter. Only the accuracy of the grade stamped on it. Cause let's keep it real. The main reason most collectors and investors grade is to have an accurate, independent third party assess the condition of their card so they can properly commodify it should they eventually decide to trade or sell the card. Don't tell me any nonsense about set registry components or holder thickness or design being worth 30 to 70% more for the same card. If a card slabbed in a bright red Freddy Fine grading sleeve somehow sold for 2 times a PSA 10, I could keep a handwritten registry in crayon and influencers would tout how cool my old school tracking system was. I own cards from all 4 of the major grading companies: PSA, BGS, SGC, and CSG. And I'll continue to do so. They all, for the most part, offer quality subjective grading.
My general statement, which it's been a long time since I said this, so let's refresh people's memories. All 3 of these companies kind of suck.
Operative word being subjective. They are all guilty of overgrading and undergrading, which has to be expected with the drastic expansion and onslaught of demand in the past 24 months. That's why the hobby cliche became a cliche in the first place. Buy the card and sell the grade. There is zero empirical data that suggests one company is better or worse at accurately grading modern sports cards. In fact, there is more data to suggest the big 4 pretty much all grade the same. For the most part, a PSA 9 is a BGS 9, is an SGC 9, is a CSG 9, and a PSA 10 is a BGS 9.5, is a SGC 10, is a CSG 9.5, and sometimes a BGS 9 is a PSA 10.
This was a BGS 9 with 3 9.5 subgrades and an 8.5 for edges. And I took a look at the edges through the holder and I'm like, that 8.5 looks a little harsh. If anything, maybe 9. It should have been maybe a 9 edge. I was thinking based on what I could see beyond the holder, cracked it out and also looked fine. So, worst case, I was thinking this would cross to a PSA 9, but I was really hoping for the PSA 10. And bang!
And a BGS 9.5 is a PSA 9.
Second Harper, this one was a Beckett 9.5. I've got it as a 9.5 as well, and it came back a 9, which is fair. So it was a Beckett 9.5 fake gem, and it looked good. I thought it had a chance at a 10.
Are there exceptions? Absolutely.
The other day I sent in an Alexis Lafreniere. It was a BGS 9.5. I cracked it, sent it in PSA, got it back PSA 2. I'm like, this is dumb. I think I told you that, right? It's like
I actually saw that, and I was just like, man, that was a really bad spin. You just like spinning the wheel, and you got like 8, 9, min size 10. I can just see a grader at PSA with like sitting with his wheel, just spinning the wheel and putting grades down. I'm getting cards back that should be 9s that are coming back 7s. I'm getting cards back that should be 8s that they give 10s. It's just, and at the end of the day, it's just an opinion, but I feel I've earned the right to have a strong opinion by sending, I've sent hundreds and hundreds of orders on.
But as a general rule of thumb, there is rarely a large variance from comparable grading tiers. But don't take it from me. Take it from some of my favorite YouTube sports card content creators that grade a ridiculous volume of cards and are most definitely not pro BGS.
I was a little bit surprised by the 9 surface grade. It's probably some bubbles. This really bothers me that this card was not put in a PSA 10 holder. Instead, I had to put it in a Beckett 9.5 holder. Serial number 2 of 10. Beautiful card. Beautiful card. This really should be in a PSA 10 holder. I'm very disappointed that I did not get that. But I'm happy to have it in Gem Mint holder, which is a very fair assessment in my opinion. So far, I will say, and this is very true, Beckett to me does have consistent standards. I think
the next couple cards I actually cracked from BGS 9.5 holders. This was quad 9.5 subgrades. And I'm hoping for a 10 on this, and I got a 10. When I took it out of the Beckett holder, I got the grade I wanted.
Next up, SPX Dwayne Wade 2003. I had this as 9.5 to 10. This was most likely snapped from a BGS True Gem Plus.
Actually, Nolan at Elite Co 3, who prefers PSA and SGC because of a previous beef with BGS.
I always like to talk crap on Beckett, just because I had some problems in the past with them damaging cards, which, honestly, if you handle as many cards as they do with PSA or SGC, there's definitely mistakes are going to happen. I handle a ton of cards, and every once in a while I'll drop a card and ding a corner, and I'm like, oh shit, that wasn't good. So we are going to make mistakes, so I'm not going to hold them to that forever. But the problem with Beckett was that they tried to fight me on it, and it was just very annoying when they damaged. Like it was a Calvin Johnson exquisite collection, so it was a great card. So that was kind of when the beef with Beckett started, and that was back in like 2011.
We'll take on everybody, including his favorite PSA.
If a card's off by 0.5, that's fine. But when I'm doing PSA and we're off by 2.5 grades, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And that's why I love him. Nolan, why is PSA so dominant?
Because PSA's got all the money behind him. They've got Nat Turner now. He's got all the money. That's too much pressure. He's pushing into the brand, and he's got the popular people on social media following PSA, and it's just people see that and they're like sheep following the herd, going towards that. And that's just the way it is in all aspects of life, I think.
Paying a premium for the same condition card is like paying Schwab to hold 1 share of stock in your account versus E-Trade offering 2 shares for the exact same price.
It don't make no sense.
You'll say, but Freddy, GemRate just released the all-time grading stats, and it proves BGS is the easiest grader and SGC is the hardest grader. Does it?
I don't know.
The fantastic Northeast Ohio Cards and Comics did a little deeper dive into the GemRate stats, and it basically shows that on modern cards, they pretty much all grade the same.
The grader, all 3 of these companies are basically grading the same, in my opinion. You're getting Mint Plus at about the same. You could argue that maybe actually BGS is the easiest, as crazy as that sounds, to get a Gem Mint, because of the fact that they have the subgrades. The subgrades allow them to play, I don't want to say faster and loose, but it just allows them a wider range of a 9.5. It all comes down to, the companies are all grading the same, essentially, is my take on this. The differences are the grading scales that they have that back them up, that give them the tools to assign their grades.
Although his point that the Min Gem Beckett grade allows for more cards to qualify as Gem Mint, and therefore is a slightly easier Gem Mint grade to achieve, got me thinking about what percentage of BGS 9.5s are Min Gems and Min Gem Plus versus Quad Gem Plus, or better. Given that Quad Gem or better BGS slabs are pretty universally regarded as being in the same condition as PSA 10s, even amongst PSA fanboys, I wanted to know what percentage of BGS cards are Quad Gem or better, including the pristine 10 and the black labels, and what were those gem rates in sales compared to the PSA 10s. Now, this doesn't mean BGS Min Gems or Min Gem Pluses aren't equal to a PSA 10, an SGC 10, or a CSG 9.5 or better. So I emailed BGS to see if they'd supply that information, and they, you guessed it, denied my request. Even though I told them I was trying to help them show the price gap paid for their cards versus their competitors' cards is shenanigans. So I got out my trusty Freddy Fine grading registry notebook and crayon, and I did it the old-fashioned way. I broke down the BGS 9.5 stats for the following 3 cards. The 2000 Upper Deck Star Rookie Tom Brady, the 2009-10 Topps Chrome Steph Curry, and the 2014 Topps Update SP Mookie Betts. And I compared those to the PSA 10 Pop Report. The SGC and CSG sample size for these cards is too small to include, and in the case of the Topps Chrome Curry, doesn't exist. So let's start with Mr. Thomas Edward Brady in his sweatpants. Out of 1,158 cards graded, there are only 158 PSA 10s for a 13.6% gem rate. If we take a peek at the BGS Pop Report, we'll see 241 9.5s, 3 pristine 10s, and 0 black labels out of 969 graded for a gem rate of 25.2%. You'll say, told you, Freddy, it's 2 times easier to get a BGS gem.
I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so.
It appears so, but if someone went through every single BGS 9.5 Upper Deck Tom Brady rookie on Beckett.com, like a crazy person, and tallied their subgrades by hand, maybe we could get a little clearer picture. But nobody's gonna do that, Freddy. Hi, I'm Nobody, and after 2 pots of coffee,
there's nothing quite like a steaming cup full of an addictive drug in the morning,
and going through every single BGS 9.5 grade on the Tom Brady Pop Report, there were 124 Min Gems, 62 Min Gem Plus, 49 Quad Gem or Quad Gem Plus, and 6 individual single 9.5s. Which means there were only 52 cards that were Quad 9.5 or better out of 969 graded for a 5.4% true gem rate. Meaning it's more than twice as easy to get a PSA 10 than a Quad BGS 9.5 or better.
What?
Yet, PSA 10s currently sell for double a BGS Quad 9.5. Next, we'll move on to Wardell Stephen Curry II's 2009-10 Topps Chrome and his babyface grin. Out of 183 graded by PSA, there are only 61 PSA 10s for a 33.3% gem rate. If we look at the BGS 9.5 Pop Report, out of 275 graded, there are 5 pristine 10s, 0 black labels, and 145 9.5s for a gem rate of 54.5%. Ha! Again, Freddy, BGS gems are so much easier to obtain, 20% easier.
I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, I told.
But if we dig a little deeper with another pot of coffee, some more scratch paper, and a pen, we find out that out of those 145 9.5s, 71 are Min Gem, 36 are Min Gem Plus, 35 True Gem or better, and 3 single 9.5s for a Quad Gem or better gem rate of 14.5%, which means it's actually PSA that is 20% easier. The last time a PSA 10 and 9.5 of this card sold around the same date was late November, early December, and the PSA 10 sold for $50K, while the Min Gem BGS went for $26,400, almost 2 times again. And even if it was a Quad 9.5, the PSA 10 would have outsold it by at least 15 to 20,000.
It don't make no sense.
Finally, let's take a look at Marcus Lindbet's 2014 Topps Update short print. Out of 273 graded, there are only 181 PSA 10s for a gem rate of 66%. There are 48 9.5 or better in the BGS Pop out of 70 for a 69% gem rate.
Why's it gotta be at the same time? Are we late for something?
It appears PSA is slightly more difficult to attain.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
You've learned. Because if we drill down just a little further, we'll find 16 min gems, 8 min gem pluses, 20 true gem or better, and 1 single 9.5. 23 true gem or better BGS cards out of 70 equals a 33% gem rate, which means it's twice as difficult to receive a BGS quad 9.5 or better than a PSA 10. The last time a PSA 10 and BGS 9.5 sold within a few weeks of each other saw the PSA 10 go for almost twice as much again. Now obviously this isn't an exhaustive list or include bountiful base cards because that would take forever without a web scraper.
999,999. 1 million.
But what it does suggest, at least in general, is that BGS was the king of modern cards in the first 15-ish years of the century, and that a BGS Quad 9.5 or better is harder to obtain than a PSA 10 and cheaper to buy.
What?
With the different scales, numerical grades, and terminology used by BGS, PSA, SGC, and CSG, properly valuing the same card from different grading companies can get unwieldy. With all the half grades, gold labels, 10 pristine, 10 mint, mint plus, perfect 10, and my favorite, the mighty mighty super mint. It's a way cooler name for a pristine card, right? If you're interested in breaking from the herd that don't think you're smart enough to understand that a 9.5 from one company can equal or surpass a 10 from another.
It's tough to find a Beckett though, pristine, to get a Beckett 10. It's very tough. Yeah. You don't see a lot of them on the market. And when I started back into the hobby and I did that research, I didn't buy any Beckett for that matter. I just didn't, because I wanted to buy 10s. I didn't want to buy 9.5s. I don't want to send cards in and get and have a stack of 9. I want 10s. That's what sells, 10s.
You know, people see the 9.5, you see the 10. It doesn't matter the true condition of the card. All that matters is that number.
In an effort to democratize and standardize fair pricing among cards graded from the Big Four, BGS, PSA, SGC, and CSG, I've created and updated the Maslow's hierarchy of modern sports cards grading. It breaks down the grades from each company into tiers so you can easily compare what a similarly graded card is from each company. Sitting at the top of the graded food chain is the BGS Black Label 10, the SGC Pristine 10, the CSG Perfect 10, and the top 1% of PSA 10s. But which PSA 10s?
I don't know.
In theory, these are all perfect cards. I own one SGC Pristine 10 because they're undervalued. I don't own any Black Labels because they are super duper pricey.
I declare bankruptcy!
On the next tier, we have BGS 10 Pristine, CSG Pristine 10, and the top 3 to 5% of PSA 10s and SGC 10 mints. These are all most perfect cards with a slight imperfection in either centering, edge, corners, or surface. The only problem with the top PSA 10 gem mint cards is that without an additional near flawless tier, it can be difficult to ascertain which tier your PSA 10 falls into. Does it rise to the level of a pristine?
I don't know.
Or sink down to the gem mint level where we find the BGS and CSG 9.5 and the rest of the PSA 10s and SGC 10 mints. These are equal grades in most cases, especially if you're dealing with a BGS 9.5 with quad 9.5 subgrades or better. Below the Gem tier, SGC sits alone with its Mint Plus designation. Strong BGS and CSG mints, ones with 2 9.5 subgrades and 2 9 subgrades, belong in this category as well, as do strong PSA 9s that are borderline PSA 10s. Though it can be difficult, again without the subgrades and half grades, to discern a strong PSA 9 mint from a borderline PSA 9 mint in the slab, unless a card has a noticeable centering issue or corner wear. Finally, we have the base mint tier. Again, in every tier, there are strong and weak cards in each grade. With modern cards, I don't recommend buying anything below mint, unless it's a condition-sensitive card like the 93 SP Jeter, numbered or rare parallel or insert, or RPA. With generally 90-ish% of modern cards graded by all companies falling into mint or above condition, it's just not worth it from an investment perspective. Hopefully, putting each major grading company's grades into comparable tiers aids your valuation when you're making a card buying decision, and cards from each tier will be priced within 10 to 20% soon. And if it's not, be like Nolan, Phil, Taylor, Neo, and Bench Clear Media and crack and cross those puppies. Speaking of those guys, if you're not following Elite Co 3, Filmington, Northeast Ohio Cards and Comics, Short Slabs, or Bench Clear Media, you should really follow their channel. You can find links to their full videos of the clips I used in the description below. What are your thoughts on grading?
It doesn't matter what you think!
As always, I'm Freddy, and you're welcome.
Yeah.